Hello everyone and welcome. Yes, this film has been out for a couple weeks, but I finally had a chance to go see it. So here's my review of Spider-Man Homecoming, which I did not see in 3D, but I did see in D-Box. And if I remember later, after all the stuff that I say right now, I will give you my opinion of D-Box. Alright, so this is the first official standalone Spider-Man movie that is being produced by Sony and Disney. They got together, thankfully, last year. They introduced Spider-Man, into the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Captain America Civil War. And now he has his first official movie, and thankfully, it is not an origin story. Yes, as much as I enjoy Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, we've seen this story before. We want to get right into it with some new villains, some new characters, a brand new Spider-Man, and hopefully feel some raw and fun and exciting emotion, and just be completely entertained. And so I was excited to see that. At the same time, honestly, I don't know if I really cared a lot, but I was still somewhat excited because I love a good superhero movie, whether it's Marvel or any other studio. I love to be entertained, and I really did enjoy, for the most part, most of the Spider-Man movies that did come before. But this is one, hopefully, it's going to be better, hopefully, because now Sony and Disney are together, working together. I don't know how long this is going to happen, but I'm just going to enjoy it for the moment. So there was some excitement going into this film. Now, Spider-Man, of course, is played by a new actor, Tom Holland. A few years ago, I saw him in The Impossible, but I don't know if I've seen him in anything since. So I'm not I'm not that crazy about the casting, but just a new face. And what's so great about, I think, Tom Holland, even before seeing the film, is that he looks like he's from high school. He actually looks like a high school student. Much as I love Toby and Andrew, he really looks like a high school student. So this movie is a high school movie. It's a little bit of love story. It's an action movie. It's a superhero movie. It's all that for everyone. Robert Downey Jr., of course, it's not an MCU movie until we get an Iron Man in the film. We got to find some way to shoehorn Iron Man in the film. Also in the film, we got Iron Man's bodyguard, Happy Hogan, played by the great director and actor Jon Favreau. Michael Keaton is the villain. Marissa Tomei is Aunt May. I don't know if there's anybody else that I should be remembering at this time. Yes, there are some side characters. He has a really great friend in high school. I want to mention this actor's name. Never seen him before. His name is Jacob Batalon. And then, of course, there's a love interest, and then he's got some friends in school, and so we get to see his high school experience as he's also figuring out who this villain is and his place in the world in this new superhero universe. Alright, 3 minutes, here we go. Here's my opinion of Spider-Man Homecoming. Someone, again, who wasn't that excited to see it, but very interested to see where this is actually going. And I have to say, the movie, it's a good, solid film. It does a lot right, and there's some things that I don't think it does completely wrong, but things that, bothered me, things that didn't really work, or things that we've seen before, especially in superhero movies. But overall, I have to say, I like this film. I did like this film, and I thought that Tom Holland did a good job, a convincing job to me, as someone who is not a huge fan, or to say has much knowledge of the comic books, but more knowledge of what he's seen, I've seen before, especially in the movie universe. So I like his character. He's very likable. He's very interesting. I felt like he was a kid trying to figure things out, trying to find out what he wants to do in life, and at the same time, I like the growth that he went on to and what his journey was on in the film. Michael Keaton as the villain, he has a lot to offer here, and I think that I like the backstory of what drives him to become the villain. I thought that was very interesting, how that ties in what's happened in the last few years in this universe. And I sympathize with him. I wouldn't have gone the direction he went, but I can understand, and they gave us some reason to care about him and what he's going through and go like, okay, I understand. I don't know if I would do that personally, but I understand what he's trying to do and what motivates him to actually become this really interesting villain. I know from what I've seen in the movies that when it comes to Superman, sometimes a character just is strong and doesn't really have any superpowers, but other times, or you know, just has stuff that he works with, and other times there are superpowers involved in too. But I appreciate what this character, I think it was interesting enough. I think Michael Keaton made it interesting enough, especially what leads up to how the movie ends. I liked Peter Parker's best friend in the film. I liked the chemistry that these two guys, I felt like they were really good friends. Like they'd known each other for years. And I think that was they did a really good job to really establish that. So, you know, he wasn't annoying enough. I mean, he was a little annoying, but not overly enough that he just took over the movie. And I really appreciate it. I think there was a good balance between those two characters. I like the love interest that Peter Parker has in the film. It was fine. There wasn't anything too special. They have just enough chemistry to, you know, get you to care just enough, but overall quite forgettable. If I had any major complaints about the film, there wasn't really there was a big lack of real emotion. At times they did make you feel like you're watching something that, of course, you know, it's not really happening, but made it feel like it was presented in a realistic world. And I like how it is incorporated with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I actually enjoy Peter Parker's relationship more with Happy Hogan than actually Robert Downey Jr. I felt like Robert Downey Jr. was just shoehorned in the movie at the last minute and didn't really feel naturally perfectly placed in the film. I just felt he was in there. Sorry about that. So where was I at? Okay, yeah, I just felt like Robert Downey Jr. just didn't really need to serve a purpose in this film. He didn't really have to be in this movie, and it would have been completely fine. Yes, he introduced Spider-Man to a whole new suit, and it's really cool, it's interesting, but I felt like, I don't know, maybe a small little cameo or something, but overall, I really don't feel like, even as much as I love Iron Man, and as much as I love Robert Downey Jr., I just felt like he honestly did not really need to be in this movie. And, yeah, I could talk more about that, but then we'd probably get into spoilers. So those are some of the things I didn't really like about the film. That, yeah, there's amazing sequences of action. There's this great scene on a ferry. Some really impressive stuff on this big, huge airline. This big, huge gosh, say the damn word, airplane. Duh. You know, it just, that was really cool. I thought that was really quite impressive. All the action sequences were very impressive and very interesting, even though there were some things that were quite questioning, especially with property damage, that incorporated Spider-Man, that I felt like it would have been interesting to see maybe a scene of him going back and maybe fixing some of those things, or maybe saying, oh, you know, doing some nice service for no charge, because there is some destruction in the film, small destruction in the film caused by Spider-Man that I would have liked. Maybe just a couple scenes of him showing him doing some service to those people that he secretly destroyed their houses by being Spider-Man. Yeah, there's other characters, you know, Donald Glover has a small part, and there's some other people that have smaller parts in the film that, you know, they're fine, but they didn't really do much for me. But I do like the villain's motivation. I like the journey that Spider-Man goes on. But another thing that really bothered me about the film is some of the kids that he's going to school with. Now I know it's a high school movie, and you know, kids are questioning what they want to do in life or how they treat people and stuff like that. But there's this one girl character in the film that may possibly in the future be a love interest for Peter Parker. I felt like her character was smug and very, very, what's the word? I'm better than you. I'm better than you kind of vibe. I'm better than you. And I just didn't like her character at all. So overall, I thought the movie was a good, solid film. Nothing too spectacular. On par, in my opinion, with the 2002 film and the 2012 movie. It's just a good, solid superhero movie that I don't know if I would see again right away, or say you have to rush and go see it. Most people have seen it already. But in the end, I think it's a good film, and I'm really hoping for a much, much better sequel. As for the D box, you know, I paid a few extra dollars for the chair to shake a lot. And at times it was cool. Other times it was really annoying. Sometimes I thought my phone was on vibrates and I was going to check my phone like, oh, was my phone ringing? And there were times where Michael Keaton was flying around as the Vulture or the Falcon. I honestly can't remember. where that was the coolest thing. It actually felt like he was moving around. So that was awesome. That was awesome. But would I ever do D-Box again? Probably not. It wasn't anything too special or fascinating or something that I felt like really added anything to the movie. But overall, I think Spider-Man Homecoming is a good, solid summer movie and a nice introduction to a brand new Spider-Man. I'm just hoping, from the past, what we've seen when it comes to Spider-Man, I've had the feeling, from what I've seen, is that the sequel, at least part 2, are the better films, because I really loved 2004 Spider-Man 2, and I really, really, really loved, even though I don't think it's better than Spider-Man 2, I really, really loved The Amazing Spider-Man 2 from 2014. I was really looking forward to seeing where that was going, but, of course, nowhere. It went nowhere. But I still loved the movie. I still enjoyed it, and in my mind, I can think of what maybe it went in my own mind. So that's my feelings of Spider-Man Homecoming. In the comment box below, let me know what you thought of the film, if you're a fan of the new Spider-Man or if you hate him. I think he's fine. I think he's fine. I don't love him and I don't hate him. I think he's doing a decent job overall. And I really like this director. He made a film a few years ago called Cop Car. So if you enjoyed this film, go back and check out Cop Car. I don't know where it's available, but I recommend checking out his indie work. I don't know where he's going to go from here, but I thought as a first big mainstream movie, he did a decent job as well. And then, of course, Michael Giacchino is everywhere. He's scoring everything. He's everywhere scoring everything, and his score in here was pretty good as well. All right, everyone, I am going to give Spider-Man Homecoming, I will give it a solid 3 stars out of 4.